Hello and welcome to my channel. Are you also bored of making boring presentations? Not anymore, because in this video I'll be sharing with you a very interesting trick with which you can create very interesting presentations for your next project. Stay with me and let's explore how we can do that. Let's see this cool animation that I recently worked on. I know you must be amazed. So was I when I was working on this concept. I came to know that I'll be designing something about geospatial data and digital twin. And that's how I really wanted to explore the capabilities of presentation of PowerPoint to see what all we can do to actually match our visuals to the powerful words that we are trying to depict in our presentation. Let's just break down how I did this. First way is very simple. Draw a rectangle towards the left, add the icon that you want. Now comes the main part. We need the image. I'm pasting this, but let's see how I created this image. This is a simple image of the earth that I got from Pixabay. I just added a black shape again behind it so that we have an entire image for this. And that's it. I have sent it to back using the shortcut option that I have towards the top. I have added the text. Let's add the slider now, which is the main essence of this particular slide. Now I've added the slider here. It's just a combination of a rectangle and a line. I just group these two together so that we have a slider in place. Now I'm bringing this icon forward and our first slide is ready. This is what I want for my first slide. Next up, what I'll do is I'll copy paste this slide and I'll get my next image that I want, which is this particular image. So as you'll see, I have right click, format picture, and let's reduce the transparency of this picture, and you'll see that I have overlapped both the earths so that it doesn't feel like they are overlapping or they are two different images. So you also need to be perfect with your placements. You can reduce the transparency of your upper image and then reduce the size and everything and try to overlap these things as accurately as possible in order to ensure that your animation looks clean and professional. Once you are done and ready to move forward, just reduce the transparency to 0 or maybe 30%, 20%, whatever you need, and you'll be all set. Now I have this image. First of all, I need these side objects to be in front, so I'm selecting all these and bringing these to front. Next up, I don't want the geospatial text to be visible on slide, so I'm deleting it from here. Now I have the slide ready. For the motion graphics to happen, what I need to do is I need to copy this particular image. I need to go back to the previous slide that I just created. I need to paste it over here. Now again, I need all these extra graphics to be in front, so bringing them in front. Now what I need to do is I need to apply morph animation to it. For that, let's crop this image. Done. Now that particular image is only in this section behind the yellow bar. Next up, we need to move to the next slide. So what morph animation does is it just adds motion from one state to the next. So in this particular slide 9, we have the image cropped out and just behind this box. But on the next slide, we have the image taking up the entire screen. And I need to move this slider towards the end of the slide so that we know that through the slider, this particular thing is happening. Next up, all I need to do is I need to add transition and say morph. And see, I'm done. You can also adjust timings of this. Currently, it looks so fast, so maybe we can have 3 seconds for the morph transition. And now let's check out what happened. Next up, what we need to do is we need to have this text. So I'm copying this and pasting it on our slide. I'm not doing everything from scratch in here in order to keep this video short. So I have this text, and let's check out that I have also added animation on this slide, and the animation is wipe from left. You can add in fade or whatever animation you want, and I have also added after previous as the show option for this one. Once that's done, I need to add this particular graphic. I got this graphic from Freepik. You can also search for the relevant graphics that are matching your image, the purpose, the content that you are trying to showcase, and you can use them accordingly. I'm copy pasting this again. It took me some time to actually revise the graphic as per my requirements. I adapted it to my requirements. I updated the color, removed the strokes that I didn't need, added more strokes towards the side so that it looks like a 3D model. That's all I did in the back end. Once I was satisfied, I got that particular file into my PowerPoint. I adjusted the size in order to ensure that this particular graphic matches the outline, the shape of the background graphic that we have. Once all that is done, next thing that I did is I added a wipe animation to this graphic. Because currently a lot of animations are happening. We are moving from one slide to the next. The slider is moving towards the right. The background image is showing up. Then we want text to show up, and post that we want this outline graphic to show up. And for that, we need to add the animation, like any appear animation, fade, appear, wipe, whatever animation suits our purpose, so that this graphic shows up at that time. Once that's done, I have added a spin animation to this graphic because I want to show like a 3D impact or effect for this particular visual to show that it's Google Earth Engine that we are talking about, or the digital twin, or the geospatial data that we are referring to. Once that's done, I updated the property for this one. So I have added like a half spin because I don't want this to spin very quickly by keeping it like 360 degrees or so. So as per the timings that I'm spending on this one, I updated it to 180 degrees and I adjusted the timing as well, and I kept the duration for 2 seconds for this one. Next up, I need to add these. It's a very simple way to add these. All you need to do is you need to go to shape, select this particular option, keep it towards the center, whatever graphic you have in the back, align it, center align and middle align, and that's it. Then you just keep on increasing the size, shift plus up arrow, shift plus side arrow, and you have the graphic. Now we have this line. We can just format shape line. In case you're not getting this format shape option, right click format shape and you will get this these right hand side options. Add like 6, 5, 4, whatever width you want for it, and you can add a color and you'll get this line. This is how I created these lines, and in case you want to add dashed lines or something, so you can update that in the dash type. Once that's done, you can also use these sliders to adjust the placement of the start of the line, the end of the line, where you want it. Keep on replicating it, bringing it to the position that you want, like the way I just did. And once you're satisfied with it, what we need to do is we need to add animation to these. And for that, let's go to the animation panel and let's open the animation pane. Here we can see all the animations that we have so far. And let's see what animations I have added to these. Arc 1. So I have added a wipe animation to it. It comes from the top because I want this bar to wipe off from the top and then appear. Timing, I have kept it 0.5 seconds because I want this to have some speed and I want this animation to happen quickly. And let's see what other animations do we have. The next arc, again wipe animation. This one is again wipe animation. So I've added wipe animation to all these arcs so that these appear. Then for this particular graphic, I have added appear animation so that this graphic now appears on the screen, and then I have added a spin animation to this one from the yellow section, and I have updated the settings to 180-degree clockwise and duration to 2 seconds. There is one more thing that you can explore, that is the repeat settings. So from here you can select how many times you want the animation to repeat itself. These are some good options, but I really like these two options over here towards the bottom. It says until next click or until end of slide. So I usually go for until next click. So what happens is sometimes we have added a repeat animation for some of the elements on our slide and it keeps on repeating, and sometimes a person had to click like once, twice, thrice in order to shift from one slide to another, because it's not stopping the animation and shifting to the next slide, and a lot of chaos could happen. In order to avoid such issues, this option until next click is the best option if you want your animation to repeat in loop. If you select this until next click, what happens is until next click the animation will keep on repeating itself, and as soon as the click happens, no matter where the animation is, maybe 30 seconds of animation is left or whatever the scenario is, it will stop right away and shift to the next slide without any delays, without the presenter thinking, okay, what's happening on screen. So these are the animations that I have added to this slide. Let's check this once again. Next slide. This entire thing shifts towards the left, and on the right the text appears. Let's see how we can do this. And it's not that this entire thing shifts towards the left and the globe rotates as well. So to achieve that, what we have done is we have copy pasted this slide, the one that we have just created. We don't want this text on our next slide, so we are deleting it. Let's select this image that we have, move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I've shifted it down by 12 points so that I can select the image that I have underneath it. And then I want to select this entire vector graphic that I have, and I need to shift this towards the left. This is what we are doing right now. Now this entire thing has shifted towards the left. I don't need this slider now. Let's just move it towards the side. Now we have some empty weird space towards the right. How to fill that up? We know that we have a black image on screen. So why not create a black rectangle for this one? But it's not merging properly with the image right now. So let's go to right click, format shape. From here we'll select gradient fill. So we have the gradient as of now, and I'm shifting the slider for this gradient so that it blends with the image, and we have a dark image in here. We can definitely adjust the size of this slider blend in order to have a nice blend towards the right for the image. Now this has shifted towards the left. Now we need the text on screen, Command B. So I'm just copy pasting the text that I already have instead of retyping it. So what we are doing right now is we are keeping the position of the white text and the yellow text same. For the white text, I have gone to animations and I have used the path option, and I have used the line from here. So it's moving in the straight line, right? So if we select this red point from here and move it towards up, its all data text will shift to upwards, and from here it says on click. I will say after previous. Let's go to the animation pane again to see what all animations do we have. So if you'll see, I have told you like this animation I have added. I'm deleting it right now because I just copy pasted it from the one that I originally had. So it had that animation. So this is how the text is shifting upwards, and digital twin text appears as fade. So it's a normal fade animation that we have added in here. For it's all data. If we don't add appear animation on this one, let's say I'm deleting this, and if we are moving from this to this, so see how it's all data is appearing and it's not shifting upwards. So for that matter, we need to add an appear animation for this. I have added a fade animation. You can go for either fade or appear, and then add the path animation so that once its all data has appeared, it will shift upwards because of the path animation, and then digital twin of Earth will fade in. So the text animation is done. Now comes the animation for the graphic. Since we have replicated this particular graphic, this animation got copied from the previous slide. I'm deleting it right now. And if we'll see, we forgot to place back this image. So I am pressing up arrow 12 times so that this image that we shifted down is at the correct position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Done. Now this is all correct. Now to add the animation to this particular circle, I am just rotating it because I will be adding a morph animation to the transition to this one. So this slide, morph transition. So now you see it's shifting towards the left, and hence it's also turning the vector graphic that we have because of the morph animation applied on the slide. Now we have understood how we can make this animation happen as well. Feel free to like the video, share it with your friends whom you think can really benefit from this particular animation and the presentation tips that we are sharing amongst ourselves. And subscribe to the channel for more. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, hasta la vista.